Hey, I'm Siobhan, and I love talking about all the things related to freedom and personal growth. And I'm on a journey to redefine freedom on my own terms as I become the woman I desire to be. Each week, I'll share in real time what I'm learning as I do my inner work while creating a safe space for my listeners to feel seen. If you desire to be free and live a life that feels good to you, then you're in the right place for beautiful conversations that's going to support you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to the Siobhan J. Middleton podcast. Now let's start the show. Hey, welcome back to another episode. I am so glad that you're choosing to listen at this time with what I want to share with you. So today I want to talk about my word for the year. And if you've been listening for any amount of time, you know, every year I choose a word or a theme that I want to live by. And it usually comes to me towards the end of the previous year, like around November or December. I don't know why, it just does. Maybe because I start thinking about the new year and I'm like, what do I want my year to look like? And it seems like the last 2 years, my word has come either before or after a therapy session, or even in this time, actually during my therapy session. And I was talking to my therapist and I was like, normally this time of year I have a word, but nothing is coming to me. And I was expressing how I'm in this season of my life where I'm learning who I am, right? Like so much of my life has changed, I would say over the last 3 years, but more specifically over the last year. And so who I've been, I'm no longer that person, right? So if I think about even just the roles that I've had, like everything is different. I was telling my therapist that I'm really curious to get to know this version of myself and who I'm becoming. And it was like in that moment when I said it out loud, a light bulb went off for me. I'm like, that's it. That's my word for the year is curiosity. I went on to say, I want to be open to discover new things. I want to be open to newness. Like I really want to get curious about getting to know myself. And when I said it out loud and as I was describing it to her, I'm like, that is it. I felt it all in my body. And I'm like, just like that, I have my word for the year. And so that's it. This is my year of curiosity and discovery, and just being open to explore who I am, who I'm becoming. And because I've been, a specific type of person for a very long time, now that I am single, right? Now that I'm living on my own, now that I'm a co-parent, my business has changed. Like so much of my life has changed. I don't know who I am anymore. And when I first started having that thought, it's a scary thought, right? To live a certain kind of way, to know yourself, and then so much of your life has changed. Everything feels unfamiliar. And I'll be honest, there has been some grief with that because what I thought would be forever, whether it was a relationship, a friendship, what have you, it's not. And I knew one way of living. I knew how I showed up. I knew what affected me. I knew what I liked and what I didn't like based on where I was in my life. But I'm not that version of myself anymore. Like I have grown so much over the last few years, and I'm not that woman. And so anyone that has known me prior to, like, you really got to get to know who I am now. You can't just assume, oh, this is how Siobhan is, or this is what she does. No. And as I'm learning more about myself, I remember Lauryn Hill said something similar on her Unplugged album. Like as she was growing and evolving, she was getting to know herself. So everyone that thought they knew her, they had to get to know her too. And I'm having that same experience. And so with this being my year of curiosity, I'm open to discover who I am, right? And no longer having this rigid way of thinking like, I only do this, I only go there, this is how I do things. No, I am going to be fully open to explore who Siobhan is and who I'm becoming, right? And so when I say this is my year of curiosity and discovery, basically that applies to every single area of my life, and challenging my thought process and how I do things and why I'm doing them. And it's really going to be about me getting to know myself on a deeper level, learning who I am, learning who I'm not, trusting myself. And then also when I think about the feeling, because that's important too, like how do I want to feel this year? And I want to feel present in the moment. I don't want to be concerned about the past or the future. I really want to be present in the moment and letting things be the way that they are and allowing magical, beautiful things to happen just by being present. And that is not easy work, but because that is how I want to feel, I think I'm going to be more conscious about that. But I really just want to be in the moment. If I'm with you, I'm with you. You know what I mean? Like whatever experience that I'm having, I want to be fully present, feeling like using all of my senses in that moment to just be. So that's my year, my theme, how I want to feel for the year. So I want to give you an example. I haven't eaten meat in forever, and when I say forever, beef or pork in over, I don't know, 20 or more years. However, I've been craving oxtails. And I know this is so random. And because old me would be like, well, you don't eat beef, you will never eat them again. But I'm like, no, I'm curious. I remember when I was growing up with my grandmother, we would go to this restaurant called Everything and Then Some, and we would get oxtails, and we would sit there and eat them, or we would take them back home and eat them. And I remember they taste so, so good, right? So it's really nostalgic for me. And as I've been thinking about curiosity and discovery and all of that, I'm like, I've been craving oxtails. And so instead of me saying, oh, I don't eat beef anymore, I'm not going to eat that, it's like, no, you get to change your mind. You get to discover new things. You get to see if you like this now or if you still don't want to eat beef. That's your choice versus saying, I don't do that. I'm not going to do that. So I reached out to my friend and I said, hey, where's the best place to get some oxtails? She told me where to go. I went and got them. And let me tell y'all, these oxtails were so good. They were small. And I'm like, oxtails used to be big, whatever. They were small. And I was in so much delight. So good. I sat down in my living room in front of the TV, ate these oxtails with all the delight. And so that is just a simple example of how I'm being open to newness and no longer saying, I don't do this anymore. I can't do this. It's like, no, let's see if you like this. And if you like it, let's try it. And if you still don't like it, then you don't have to do it again. Now, the oxtails were delicious. I still want to go somewhere else because I'm like, I want more. And I just kind of want to try them different places. And so that is like my state of mind as I move throughout this year. What do I want this year to look like for me? And I just want to be open to discover new things, new people, new experiences, like new thoughts, new beliefs, just allowing myself to be curious and get to know myself based on where I am today in the present moment and who I'm becoming, and just being open, you know? And again, these words that I've chosen for this year is very fitting for me. And I'm really curious and excited about how this year is going to pan out. And I think another thing that I want to kind of tie into this, when I think about curiosity and discovery, I want to make it fun. I really want to have fun with this, you know? Last year with my year of transformation, I knew that word in itself is not a fun word. And so I knew it was going to bring out a lot for me. But this particular year, like, I'm thinking more so from an aspect of fun and delight and joy and beauty and happiness and exciting, like all of those good feeling, positive words. That's how I want to move into this year. Now, I will say this. I do got shit going on, right? Like, good God, there is still things going on in the background, but I'm not letting that be my focus, right? I only have the ability to control what I can. And there are some things that are out of my control that I do not like, but I'm not going to let these situations that are happening unfairly to me, dictate my whole year, right? And so I'm just being open, and I'm going to have fun this year in whatever ways I choose to have fun. And so I encourage you to think of a word, a feeling, a phrase that you want to define your year. And then not only just choosing that word, but every day or throughout the week or monthly thinking about, okay, how am I living up to this word that I chose or this feeling? So for me, my friend and I, we are in a book club together. And it's every time like we read a new book, like we alternate, like she'll choose a book, we'll read it, and then I choose a book. So this time it's my turn. Not surprisingly, that is at the top of the year. And as I'm thinking about my word, curiosity and discovery, I'm thinking about, okay, what book am I going to choose? And so I was on TikTok, and she had shared this video with me. And so I'm watching it, and there was this book that this guy described, and I'm like, I want to read it. I went and checked the reviews on Amazon. Amazon, has so many reviews. Now, this is not a book that I would typically read. However, I said, this is my year of curiosity and discovery. Siobhan, let's try something new. And so I chose the book, we ordered it, and so we're going to start reading that soon. And so I shared that example with you because I am not just saying this is my year of curiosity and discovery. No, how am I implementing that in my life? How am I moving throughout my day and being more curious, right? How am I not being like my old self and being open to newness? And so this is going to be a challenge in the most beautiful way of getting to know myself. So I encourage you to do the same. I would love to hear your word for the year, your feeling, your phrase. Reach out to me via Instagram. You can find my link in the show notes. You can also always shoot me an email. You'll find that link in the show notes as well. As always, thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm so grateful that I had your ears for this amount of time. If you're not, be sure to subscribe to the podcast, right? And rate it 5 stars if you're on Apple Podcasts. If you're on Spotify, be sure to follow so you never miss an episode. Share. Whether you're sharing on the gram, I would encourage you to share the link with a friend like, hey girl, hey, listen to this episode and let's choose our word together and hold each other accountable. I think that would be beautiful. And then if my work is encouraging you, supporting you, inspiring you in any way, shape, or form, you can always treat me to a cup of coffee or 2 or 3. I'm always deeply grateful. The link to do that is in the show notes as well. And I just want to send you so much love and light. Until next time.